In March of 2011, Norway committed to the military intervention in Libya, leading to the ousting of Gaddafi and the ruined country we see today. But a shock Norwegian State Commission report now admits the country knew next to nothing about what they were doing and actually went to war relying on media reports.
Norway had very limited knowledge of Libya when the uprising started in February 2011. In such situations, decision-makers often rely on information from media and other countries.
Colonel Gaddafi continues to slaughter his own civilians.
And he viciously targeted Americans.
The international community offered Gaddafi a final chance to stop his campaign of killing or face the consequences.
Attacks by regime forces on the Libyan citizens.
When they turn to us and ask us for help stopping a massacre, how do you say no?
So Oslo jumped on the bandwagon, playing an alarmingly significant role. And why shouldn't they? It was by the book. There was even a UN Security Council resolution on the situation to cover them. If you ignore all the commentators warning the resolution did not green flag the mass bombing of Libya. Norway's report also reveals there was practically no analysis before it jumped in.
There are no written sources indicating that before deciding to send warplanes to Libya, the government assessed the type of conflict Norway was taking part in.
Now that failure could hardly have had more serious consequences. The country now lies in ruins. 7 years on, Libya is still being ripped apart by rival governments, militias armed to the teeth, and Islamist militants. Just last week, ISIL claimed responsibility for a shooting that killed 2 and wounded 10 more at the headquarters of the state oil company. And to top off the slaughter, there are reports of infighting even among the groups loyal to the government backed by the UN. Perhaps unsurprisingly, some politicians in Norway are now distancing themselves from the decision.
Given what we know today, this was a war for a regime change. Norway should not have participated in the Libyan war.
When you look at what happened next, with Libya becoming a terrorism hotspot, this is not a decision to be proud of.
Of course, they're not the first to come to that sorry conclusion. The UK Parliament got there 2 years ago.
This report determines that UK policy in Libya, before and since the intervention of March 2011, was founded on erroneous assumptions and an incomplete understanding of the country and the situation.
And Barack Obama infamously admitted the aftermath was the biggest mistake of his presidency. But that's likely to bring little comfort to the civilians still reeling in a shattered nation.
We spoke to a senior researcher at the Norwegian Foreign Policy Institute who believes politicians didn't understand the consequences of the intervention.
Parties in the coalition government at that time, for them this is what has happened thereafter is quite painful, and therefore they are expressing some regrets about it. And also they are saying that they didn't understand that this would be the outcome of it. May have been that Norwegian politicians thought that they were mainly doing this for humanitarian reasons and not also really understanding that whereas humanitarian intervention may have been what was argued by some of the other key players in this coalition. Obviously, some of them saw beyond the humanitarian reasoning and was basically interested in regime change, getting rid of Gaddafi. I don't think that necessarily all Norwegian politicians really understood this.